there's a castle in Belgium that looks like something from a fairy tale. Gothic towers, hundreds of windows, a clock tower rising into the sky. It housed orphans for decades, then it was abandoned, and in 2017, they demolished it completely. That's Chateau Miranda, one of Europe's most beautiful castles, gone forever. Pennsylvania has a 110-room mansion where Titanic heirs were supposed to live. They died on the ship. The mansion was abandoned for 25 years. Italy has a Moorish palace with 365 rooms covered in Oriental designs, abandoned, decaying. These aren't small houses, these are castles, mansions, palaces, built by millionaires, all abandoned. Welcome to Vanishing Destinations, the 20 most stunning abandoned castles and mansions around the world. Where wealth couldn't save them, where beauty turned to decay. Hit subscribe. Let's explore the castles where kings lived and nature now rules. Chateau Miranda was a magnificent neo-Gothic castle in Belgium. Built in 1866 by English architect Edward Milner for the Liedekerk de Beaufort family. The construction took 41 years, finishing in 1907 with a soaring 183-foot clock tower. The castle featured 500 windows and breathtaking interiors. German forces occupied it during World War II's Battle of the Bulge. In 1950, Belgium's railway company converted it into an orphanage called Chateau de Noisy. After closing in the late 1970s, the castle sat abandoned. A devastating 1,995 fire destroyed part of the roof. Despite becoming an iconic location for urban explorers and filming for the TV series Hannibal, demolition began in October 2016 and finished in October 2017. Erasing forever one of Europe's most beautiful abandoned castles. Lynwood Hall stands as a 110-room, Gilded Age masterpiece built from 1897 to 1900 in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania. Industrial tycoon Peter Arrell Brown, Widener commissioned architect Horace Trumbauer to create this $8 million palace covering 70,000 square feet. Tragedy struck when Widener's son George and grandson Harry perished on the Titanic in 1912. After Peter died in 1915, the mansion changed hands repeatedly, becoming a Korean church before sitting abandoned for 25 years. Windows shattered, ceilings collapsed, and vandals stripped priceless fixtures. Urban explorers documented the heartbreaking decay. In June 2023, the Lynwood Hall Preservation Foundation purchased this last American Versailles for $9 million, beginning urgent restoration to save it from total ruin. Bannerman Castle rises dramatically from Polypel Island in New York's Hudson River. Scottish immigrant Francis Bannerman VI built this fortress starting in 1901 to store his massive military surplus inventory from the Spanish-American War. He designed the Scottish-style castle himself, complete with towers and battlements. In 1920, a catastrophic explosion in the ammunition depot destroyed part of the structure and killed the caretaker. After Bannerman's death in 1918, his family continued using it until 1950. Another explosion damaged more buildings, and a 1,969 fire destroyed roofs and floors. The ferry to the island sank, ending access for decades. Today, New York State Parks owns the island, offering boat tours to these stabilized romantic ruins that stand hauntingly against the sky. Sammezzano Castle is a breathtaking Moorish revival palace hidden in Tuscany, Italy. Originally built in 1605, it was completely transformed, starting in 1853, by Marquis Ferdinando Pidhirtsi Castle, who devoted 40 years to creating 365 uniquely decorated rooms. Each chamber features stunning Islamic patterns, vibrant tilework, horseshoe arches, and intricately carved ceilings. The castle represents one of Europe's most spectacular examples of Orientalist architecture. Surrounded by botanical gardens containing Italy's largest collection of giant sequoias, it served the Marquis until his death in 1897. The property became a luxury hotel in the 1990s, but went bankrupt due to overwhelming maintenance costs. Now abandoned, it trends constantly on Instagram as Italy's most photographed abandoned building, while preservation groups fight desperately for its restoration. Villa de Vecchi, known as the Ghost Mansion of Lake Como, was built in the 1850s by Count Felix de Vecchi, an Italian war hero. He commissioned architect Alessandro Sidoli to design his dream home with stunning Liberty-style architecture, elaborate frescoes, and beautiful gardens. Unspeakable tragedy struck when the Count returned home to discover his wife brutally murdered and his daughter missing. He spent his remaining years desperately searching for his daughter before dying broken-hearted in the villa. Later owners reported terrifying paranormal activity. Abandoned in the 1960s, the villa is now completely overrun by nature. Trees grow through floors, frescoes peel from walls, and the roof has partially collapsed. Locals believe it's haunted by the Countess and the missing daughter. The murder was never solved. Pidhirtsi Castle was built between 1,635 and 1,640 inches. Ukraine's Lviv region as a magnificent Renaissance palace for Polish military commander Stanisław Koniecpolski. Italian architect Andrea Delacroix and French engineer Guillaume Levasseur de Beauplan designed this palace fortress with defensive walls, a protective moat, ornate interiors, priceless art collections, and stunning Italian gardens. European royalty attended lavish balls here for centuries. After World War II, Soviet forces converted it into a tuberculosis sanatorium. A devastating 1,956 fire destroyed much of the interior and irreplaceable art collections. Plans to make it Ukraine's presidential residence never materialized due to lack of funding. The Lviv National Art Gallery now owns it, attempting slow restoration with extremely limited resources. Renaissance halls lie in ruins while gardens grow wild. Chateau de la Mothe-Chandeniers is a stunning 13th century castle in Les Trois-Moutiers, France. Originally built by the Boussay family as a medieval fortress, it was captured twice by the English during the 100 Years' War and devastated during the French Revolution. In 1809, wealthy businessman François Hennequart restored it to former glory with vineyards and gardens. Aristocratic families hosted lavish parties throughout the 1800s. Then, in March 1932, a catastrophic fire destroyed most buildings, burning rare books, antique furniture, and valuable paintings. For decades, nature reclaimed the ruins as vines and trees grew through windows. In 2017, over 27,000 people worldwide contributed €1.6 million through crowdfunding to collectively purchase and preserve this hauntingly beautiful castle, demonstrating the remarkable power of community heritage preservation. Kellie's castle stands unfinished in Batu Gajah, Perak, Malaysia, representing an extraordinary blend of Scottish and Moorish architecture. Scottish planter William Kellie Smith, who made his fortune in rubber and tin, began construction in 1915 as a grand gift for his wife Agnes. He imported skilled craftsmen from India to work on the elaborate design featuring towers, an indoor elevator, and a rooftop courtyard. Tragically, Smith died suddenly of pneumonia in Portugal in 1926, leaving the castle incomplete. His widow and daughter returned to Scotland, abandoning the partially built mansion to the jungle. Malaysian legends claim it's haunted by spirits of workers who died during construction. The government now maintains it as a tourist attraction, where unfinished towers, roofless rooms, and an empty elevator shaft stand frozen mid-construction. Dundas Castle, also known as Craig y Clare, sits dramatically in New York's Catskill Mountains near Roscoe. Ralph Wirtz Dundas, grandson of a Delaware and Hudson Canal builder, began construction in 1907. Wanting a medieval-style summer castle with stone walls, iron gates, and romantic architecture. He died in 1921 before completion, and his wife Josephine Harmar was committed to a sanatorium, spawning dark legends about her wild horseback rides through town and supposed imprisonment in the castle. The castle became a summer camp for children in the 1950s and 60s, then was bought by the Masonic Lodge and abandoned to vandals. Legends claim Josephine's ghost haunts the castle, and 3 heart-shaped ponds fill with blood during full moons. Added to the National Register in 2001, it trends with paranormal enthusiasts. Halcyon Hall was built in 1890 as a luxury hotel in Millbrook, New York. Designed by architect James E. Ware, with 200 rooms across 5 stories, featuring dark wood paneling and Queen Anne style. The hotel failed and closed in 1901, never attracting the wealthy clientele publisher H.J. Davison Jr. envisioned. In 1907, May F. Bennett transformed it into a prestigious all-girls boarding school educating daughters of prominent families, including Betsy Bloomingdale. The rise of co-education in the 1970s caused financial distress. The state-of-the-art Kettering Science Center put the school near bankruptcy. Heat was turned off, pipes burst, and major damage occurred. The school closed in 1978. Despite being on the National Register and preservation efforts, this Gothic structure, beloved by urban explorers, was demolished in 2014, removing one of America's most photographed abandoned buildings forever. Swannanoa Palace was built in 1912 atop Afton Mountain in Virginia by railroad millionaire James H. Dooley as an elaborate gift for his wife Sally. This 5-2-room Italian Renaissance Revival palace features stunning Tiffany windows, elaborate gardens, and breathtaking Blue Ridge mountain views. Construction cost over $2 million. Dooley filled it with European artwork and sculptures, creating a museum-like atmosphere. After James died in 1922 and Sally in 1925, the palace briefly became a country club before passing through various owners. In the 1940s, scientists Walter and Lau Russell leased it, converting it into headquarters for their University of Science and Philosophy. After their deaths in 1963 and 1988, the marble mansion deteriorated rapidly with broken windows, leaking roofs, and vandalized fixtures. New owners began restoration in 2017, working to save this mountaintop treasure. Bodiam Castle is a 14th century moated fortress in East Sussex, England. Built in 1385 by Sir Edward Dahlingrig, a knight of King Richard II, it was designed to defend against French invasion during the 100 Years' War. The castle features a square plan. Round corner towers, twin-towered gatehouse, portcullis, murder holes, and a complete water-filled moat. Despite seeing limited military action, it was damaged during the English Civil War in the 1640s when parliamentarian forces slighted it, removing roofs and floors and leaving a hollow shell. It remained ruins for centuries until John Fuller purchased it in 1828. Beginning restoration that preserved exterior walls but left the interior roofless. Lord Curzon bought and further restored it in 1916, then bequeathed it to the National Trust in 1925. Now, England's most photographed medieval ruin. Pidhirtsi Castle in Ukraine was built for the Polish crown hetman, creating one of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth's grandest Renaissance palaces. Nobility hosted legendary balls attracting European royalty. The castle housed incredible art collections, including paintings by Rembrandt, Rubens, and Van Dyck, plus extensive weapons collections and libraries, making it a cultural center. After Poland's partitions, the Rzuławski family maintained it through the 19th century with declining fortunes. The 20th century brought devastation through the Polish-Soviet War's looting and vandalism. Soviet occupation converted the palace into a tuberculosis sanatorium, where patients stayed in former ballrooms and galleries. The catastrophic 1956 fire destroyed irreplaceable collections and damaged the structure beyond recognition. Renaissance splendor became sanatorium wards. Polish heritage was systematically erased. The palace symbolizes lost Polish-Lithuanian glory forever. Chateau de Gudanes is an exquisite 2-width century neoclassical chateau in southern France's Ariège region. Built between 1741 and 1750 for the Marquis de Gudanes, it features magnificent architecture. With grand staircases, ornate moldings, painted ceilings, and 94 rooms, representing one of France's finest examples of Louis XV architecture. The French Revolution devastated it, and through various owners it fell into disrepair. Completely abandoned by the 1990s, the roof collapsed, floors rotted, and vegetation invaded, creating one of France's most spectacular abandoned chateaux. In 2013, Australian couple Karina and Craig Waters purchased it for €500,000. Beginning an ambitious restoration they document on social media, allowing worldwide audiences to follow the rebirth. Their dedication inspires conversations about preserving abandoned historical properties while the Louis XV splendor gradually returns. Castel van Mesen is a medieval castle in Leyde, Belgium, dating to the 11th century. Originally built as a fortified stronghold, it expanded over centuries into a Renaissance chateau with a protective moat, imposing towers, and elaborate interior decorations. For nearly 900 years, it served as home to noble families including Counts of Flanders and aristocratic dynasties who shaped Belgian history. The castle survived wars, revolutions, and changing political powers, maintaining its grandeur until the 20th century, when overwhelming maintenance costs forced the last aristocratic owners to abandon it in the 1980s after centuries of continuous occupation. The medieval fortress became ruins with the moat still surrounding it, towers partially collapsed, and noble apartments empty. Popular with urban explorers, it awaits restoration while the local government debates solutions for this 900-year-old heritage site. Lydene Estate is a magnificent Victorian Gothic mansion in Hawkhurst, Kent, England. Built in 1853 for banker Edward Lloyd, architect George Devey designed elaborate Gothic Revival architecture. With towers, turrets, ornate stonework, and beautiful interiors set in extensive grounds. It served as a family home until the early 1900s, then operated as a prestigious girls' boarding school from the 1920s through 1999. After the school closed, the Gothic mansion deteriorated rapidly with extensive roof leaks causing water damage throughout. Vandals stripped fixtures while towers became structurally dangerous and stonework crumbled. Urban explorers documented the dramatic decay over 2 decades. In 2018, a developer purchased the property, planning conversion into luxury apartments, requiring extensive restoration of the severely damaged structure. Restoration began in 2020, preserving the Victorian Gothic exterior while creating modern housing inside. McDermott's Castle sits dramatically on a small island in Vecchi, County Roscommon, Ireland. Dating to the 12th century, the McDermott clan built this fortress for defensive purposes, controlling the Lough and surrounding territories, making it an important stronghold in medieval Irish history. For nearly 400 years, it served as the McDermott family seat, witnessing countless battles, sieges, and political intrigue. In 1586, fire destroyed the castle, despite rebuilding attempts in the 1690s. Another devastating fire in the 1800s left it permanently abandoned as romantic ruins. The castle ruins sit hauntingly on their small island, accessible only by boat. Partially intact walls and collapsed towers rise from overgrown grounds while the Lough surrounds it, creating a picture-perfect Irish ruin beloved by photographers. The island location protected it from vandalism, leaving the Irish heritage surviving in ancient stone. Preston Castle is an imposing Romanesque revival structure in Ione, California, built in 1894 as the Preston School of Industry. A youth correctional facility. Architect Clinton Day designed castle-like architecture with towers, turrets, and an imposing stone facade. For decades, it operated as a reformatory housing thousands of troubled boys under notoriously harsh conditions where abuse was common. In 1950, housekeeper Anna Corbin was mysteriously murdered inside, an unsolved crime adding dark history. The reformatory moved to a new facility in 1960, but Preston Castle remained state property for offices until final abandonment in 2001. The Romanesque castle became an urban exploration destination and ghost hunting hotspot. The Preston Castle Foundation now conducts tours while working on restoration. The Reform School's dark history, unsolved murder mystery, and reported paranormal activity make it trend constantly on ghost hunting shows. Chateau de Villers-Cotterets is a magnificent Renaissance royal chateau in Picardy, France. King Francis I built it starting in 1532 as a luxurious hunting lodge with elaborate Renaissance architecture. Grand apartments, ornate ceilings, and beautiful courtyards where French royalty hunted in nearby forests. In 1539, King Francis I signed the historic Ordinance of Villers-Cotterets here, making French the official language of law and administration, fundamentally transforming the French legal system. After the Revolution, it was converted into a retirement home, operating until 2014 when deterioration forced abandonment. The French government announced a major €185 million restoration in 2017, planning to convert it into the International City of French Language Museum, celebrating Francophonie and the historic ordinance signed there. Restoration began in 2019, transforming the Renaissance hunting lodge into a cultural center, celebrating French linguistic heritage worldwide. Kinloch Castle is an extraordinary Edwardian mansion on Scotland's Isle of Rum. Built from 1897 to 1900, wealthy industrialist Sir George Buller, who made his fortune in textile manufacturing, created this lavish hunting lodge from red sandstone. The castle featured cutting-edge Edwardian technology, including electricity, hot running water, air conditioning, internal telephone systems, and a magnificent orchestral mechanical organ, making it Scotland's most modern house. Buller filled it with exotic animals, created Japanese gardens, and entertained wealthy friends on grand hunting expeditions. After his death in 1939 and his wife's in 1967, the Nature Conservancy purchased the island, converting the castle into a basic hostel for researchers and tourists with minimal maintenance. Edwardian technology still remarkably functions. Scottish Natural Heritage owns it, but the castle needs £6 million in urgent repairs with uncertain future prospects. These 20 castles and mansions once housed royalty, millionaires, and aristocrats. Now they house nothing. Chateau Miranda demolished. Lynwood Hall was abandoned for 25 years. Bannerman Castle blown apart by explosions. They show how even the grandest buildings crumble, how wealth can't stop decay, how beauty fades. Hit subscribe. Vanishing Destinations documents abandoned architecture before it disappears. Comment which castle fascinates you most. Thanks for reading. The castles are crumbling, the mansions are empty. Subscribe now. Let's preserve these vanishing destinations together.